Yes guys, good morning. What is that? Welcome to Supercars of London and welcome back to another video down in the south of France. But this is my final video. This is the last day that I will have the Lamborghini Urus. I'm driving it back to Lamborghini Monaco today, which is very sad, but at the same time I'm looking forward to getting back to the UK. You all know that I'm doing these collaboration videos with Parkers.co.uk and I've been wanting to do Urus versus Cupra for a long time, and I'll explain a lot more as the video progresses. But seeing as I've got this car down here in the south of France, I thought that I would start here, work my way back to the UK, pick up my Lamborghini Murcielago, drive my Lamborghini Murcielago, and then jump in the Cupra to tell you why the Curpa Ateca is a £40,000 Lamborghini Urus. Welcome back to the UK. There has been an ever so slight change of plan, but quite an exciting one. Basically, I arrived back, my Lamborghini was there looking clean and fixed, but it went straight on a flatbed up north for some sound recording. Now I can't quite say what just yet, but it's quite an exciting project. So my Lamborghini is currently somewhere in the UK on a dyno, probably at 7,500, 8,000 RPM, with microphones attached to it, and it is being sound recorded for a computer game. So that is very, very cool, but we can get right in to the point of this video basically. And for ages I've wanted to do Lamborghini Urus versus Curpa Ateca because they're two cars that you wouldn't necessarily put next to each other and you definitely wouldn't compare them. But when you actually drive and get to know both of the cars, you realise that they're actually quite similar. Now, don't get me wrong, this car doesn't have a V8 engine. It doesn't have this exquisite center console touchscreen interior with carbon fiber littered all over the car, but the characteristics that the Cupra has that I've learned over the time that I've driven this car, I've now done around 4,500 miles, versus living with the Lamborghini Urus last week. There are so many elements to both cars and the boxes that they tick that actually this is probably the closest that you can get for £40,000 to a Lamborghini Urus, and that is totally mad to say, and that is not a derogatory thing to Lamborghini. It is actually a compliment that Lamborghini, who specialise in supercars, are able to make a car that is as fun to drive but still has the size and the practicality of something like this. But why the Cupra? Well, because it's a little bit mythical. It's so new to the automotive world that people still don't recognise the brand, they don't understand it, in the same way that when I was driving the Urus through the south of France, so many people came up to look at the badge because they just weren't expecting it to be a Lamborghini. People come up and have a look at this car and they go, Cupra? What the hell's that? But as I start talking to people, they're like, it's a cool looking car. Then I start telling them some of the performance figures. I start telling them it's four-wheel drive. This doesn't have four-wheel steer like the Lamborghini Urus does. It doesn't need it. The wheelbase is short enough to really nip around corners. And I would go as far as saying, quite a punchy statement coming up, that this Cupra is probably as fast as my Murcielago up a mountain road, up colder terrain, because my Lambo is such a loaf to throw around up and down the hairpins. This will get the 300 brake horsepower down in an instant. I can throw it in, and this, for the size, is an incredibly agile car in the same way that the Lamborghini Urus is. And the speed and the perception of just holding on, sitting a little bit higher, does remind me a little bit of driving the Urus up and down a mountain road. You can really be an Asbo driving this car. If I was going to talk about value for money for a second, Here you have a 40 grand jacked up Golf R with a little bit of flair and character around it. I mean, the Golf R is such a great car. It does so many things so well, but everyone that I speak to say that it's just a little bit dull, a little bit boring. But this, because it has, I don't know, a higher center of gravity, it makes it a little bit more enjoyable in a really weird way. But 40 grand for this, I think, is good value for money. You get performance, you get a few luxuries, you get quite a lot of optional extras, you get the space, you get Alcantara, you get a lot of features that I feel like in this day and age, 40 grand gets you a bloody Ford Focus. But this is a rare car. It gets a lot of attention. You could drive it down the high street and people would turn their heads at it, especially in this spec. But I also think if I wrapped it in bright orange, it wouldn't look out of place with its exterior design. Yes, it could do with a little bit more character coming from the exhaust, a few more burbles, a little bit louder. Maybe a little bit like that. But the Lamborghini Urus, yes, it's 165-ish plus options. But in my mind, that's good value for money. You're getting the Lamborghini brand, you're getting an SUV that has this incredible power plant attached to it. When you start speccing it up, you're probably going to be looking at 180 to 200,000 pounds. But when you look at that in the Lamborghini product line, it's good value for money. You're still driving a Lamborghini, you're still having a lot of fun. It puts a smile on your face, and the Cupra does that. Smiles per mile. I drive this car in Cupra quite a lot of the time because I can do this. Oh my God. And when you're hurtling down a B road, the speed still has that incredible sense of flying past trees. It doesn't matter if you've got 650 brake horsepower or 300 brake horsepower. Power to weight is key, and this car is lighter, it's got a shorter wheelbase, so it feels as agile. This is a baby Lamborghini Urus, and I've literally jumped from that to this, and I can see some of the characteristics from the Urus in a Curpa Ateca. And that's the best compliment that I can give the Cupra. And also, for anyone that's experienced the Urus or dreams of having one in their garage and can't quite afford the 200 grand price tag, go and test drive one of these and ask the salesman sat next to you as you head to a B road that you need to put it in Cupra mode. Because yes, the conclusion to this video, as I've been hurtling around the B roads and I'm now sweating quite a lot in this grey tracksuit, is that, yeah, this car at 40 grand gives you just as much adrenaline and as much fun as a Urus does. There we go. I think that is the best way to summarize this car. And now, having done the back-to-back comparison of the Urus and this, it has the flair, it has the character, it has a personality to it. You feel connected when you drive it, and that is what a lot of new cars are missing. That Audi doesn't have it, that Ford doesn't have it, that BMW doesn't have it, that Ford doesn't have it, the Golf in front doesn't have it. They're just all molding into one. They're computers on wheels, they've all got the same driver mode, they all do the same thing, stiffen the suspension up. That Polo's got it as well, so is that Caddy. And that is so important when you enjoy driving, that you have a connection with the car. And this has it, the Urus has it, and there we go. Of course, this video is in partnership with Parkers.co.uk, and they are producing some insane content on their YouTube channel. I've subscribed to them ever since I got involved with them when we were doing their Car of the Year awards last year, and it is an absolute dream to be working with them over this long period of time where I get to use this car, I get to feed back to you guys what it is like to drive, and I get to write up blogs every month about telling you guys and people that want that written form of content as well as the video form about just how cool this car is. I'm discovering this brand in front of you guys, and everyone is, anyone that has driven a Cupra, anyone that owns a Cupra. This is such a new company, It's rare in this day and age in the automotive world that we get to discover a new manufacturer, and Cupra, I'm very excited about their future. If a Bath is anything to go by in the way that they've split away from Fiat and producing some really fun Italian cars, then Cupra, from a Spanish perspective, are going to be doing something very similar. But yes, go and subscribe to parkers.co.uk. I'm going to be doing some head-to-head tests, Cupra versus other cars. It's going to be sat on their YouTube channel, but also I will bring you guys along for the journey as well on the Supercars of London YouTube channel. So head into the link in the description, subscribe to Parkers, head over to their website so you can see my latest blog, and there we go. I'm back in the UK. It's sad to say that I'm back in the UK, but at the same time, I'm reunited with my Lambo, I'm reunited with the Cupra. Monaco and the south of France is always so good to me, but it's good to be back in the UK, ready for the summer and the events. Please leave comments on what events are coming up that you want to see my Lamborghini at, and I will be doing my best to get to as many of them as possible. But ladies and gentlemen, as I make it to this roundabout, I will sign off right now. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Peace out. Goodbye.